Hi, this is Am here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Friday the 16th of February, starting off with the FTSE 100, which seems to be celebrating the government's two by-election defeats with a push through the 50-day moving average, 76.05. That's rising and rising well. Above that, we're looking for the top of the rising trend channel from August, as high as 78.20, and that could happen as soon as the end of this month. A nice bear trap rebound from below the 50-day moving average, and also a push for the RSI back into the upper 50s, which tends to be the correct zone as a leading indicator on the upside. Moving on to the DAX, where we were hoping that we'd be able to clear 17,000 for once and for all, and we've done that with a gap higher yesterday, which is a decent signal. And basically the view now is that the longer we stay above recent resistance around 17,000, the greater the chance of a move up to the 18,000 area by the end of next month, which is obviously quite a punchy call, but with the way that the RSI bounced off neutral 50, that seems to be in order, as backed also by obviously yesterday's gap to the upside. Moving on to the Dow, and here the equivalent level to 17,000 was 38,000. Here we bounced off 38,000, old resistance becoming new support. And here we're looking for this market to climb up to as high as 40,000 by the end of next month. The top of that rising, steeply rising October trend channel. We're backed by a dip for the RSI just above neutral 50, which is also a decent continuation signal. In terms of the upside, just trying to work out exactly where that line is. It looks as though it's probably up towards the 40,000 area, as I said, by the end of next month. But the way things are going, it could be quicker than that. Moving along to Bitcoin, and here it's the market of the moment, well, at least for crypto addicts. You can see that we've just nudged the top of that rising trend channel, the August rising trend channel, which was our initial target here. That was around, say, 53,000. End of day close above that. We're looking for a steeper ascent as high as 60,000 by the end of next month, which is an October resistance line projection. Moving on to gold, where every bit that the crypto area goes up seems to hurt gold, but at least so far we've bounced off the $2,000 area and bounced above the floor of the rising trend channel from March last year, as well as the 200-day moving average now at 1983. But at least the longer we stay above 2,000, the greater the chance of a potential break of that December resistance line around 2062 to give us up to 2100 by the end of next month. Moving on to the stocks, and real head scratcher as far as Avacta is concerned. We've even broken a line of resistance there from back in July. That was around 102, so if you are cautious, probably waiting for an end of day close above that. The earliest trigger for the upside or for recovery would be an end of day close back above 97 pence, which was the old August support, and I think that was also the support area back in January, but it's certainly 97, the earliest trigger. Otherwise, it looks as though we might have to test July support at 87.5 before this market can recover. If you're cautious, probably wait for an end of day close for the RSI back above neutral 50. We haven't been back above neutral 50 properly since the end of November. Moving along to Audioboom, where record listeners, but maybe not record profits yet, or a record share price. Here we managed to gap through towards the rising 50-day moving average, 267. Want to see an end of week close above that, or at least an end of day close, to give us the next target, 287. Ultimately, best case here is up to 383 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above the floor of the overnight gap at £2.15. Moving on to African Pioneer, where there's decent news today, and we're hoping that this will be, or the recent dip below 2 pence will be the last time the shares have to do that. We've had three main dips below 2 pence for the stock in the last year, but if we can get through 2, then the next level up is 2.5, and obviously that resistance line there from back in April last year, encouraging that we've gapped off the lows. It's a bear trap gap reversal. On to Bushveld, and here we've been testing the 1 to 1.5p area for quite some time, since October. Unfilled gap to the upside today, which is encouraging. I suppose really what we need to see as a minimum is an end of day close through the 50-day line at 1.83 pence. But basically that trend, as described by the falling 200-day moving average, 2.4 pence, is the main sticking point as far as recovery is concerned, as is the way that the RSI is still below neutral 50. On to Echo, which has bounced very well in the recent past. What's interesting here is that we've now managed to touch the 50-day moving average for the second time in a month. But we want to see an end-of-day close above that at 0.008 to give us that 0.016 target by the end of next month. But nice looking candles over the course of this week. On to Empyrean, where it's also a situation of potential recovery. Bear trap gap reversal, and then up to the 50-day line as well. We've got to crack that 0.6 pence area and then maybe head towards as high as 0.8 by the end of next month, if this is indeed a proper recovery situation. I covered Jarvis for the first time in a long time here earlier in the week, and the shares have made good on that call then, so up 8%. What's encouraging here is the way that we have a sharply rising 50-day line, so hopefully that will give them momentum to the shares to head up to 95 pence, and the second target there on the daily stock. Upside value while we hold above recent neckline resistance at 65, so above 65, looking for 95. Onto a stock which somebody wanted me to have a look at earlier in the week. Obviously that was good timing. Current situation with Libertine is that above the 200-day line at 4.4 pence, we're looking for up to 11 pence at the top of a broadening triangle base in place since back in March, April. Moving along to a stock which is equally dramatic and, at least from the charting perspective, a complete winner. We've got Microsolt, and here we had an initial target around 100 pence while we were above 60 pence, and then that got upgraded to up to 140 pence while we're above 105, and it looks as though Microsolt is keen on delivering even the 140 pence before the end of this month rather than the longer time frames that we're looking for. Amazing that we've only had one red candle since the stock came to market. It must be some kind of record. Only back below 100 pence, end of day close below that level now, really upsetting the apple cart in terms of the upside there. Moving on to Plexus, which hopefully after a few months retracing is back in business. Bear trap gap reversal one below the January support there at 13.3 pence. Above that we're looking for a retest of September resistance towards 30 pence best case, up to 35 pence by the end of next month while we hold above that 13 pence zone. Poolbeg is next, celebrating the new executive chairman, Carl Friel, on board, and here we've got a rising trend channel. We've gapped up through the 10 pence level, which has been recent sticky resistance, above 10, looking for 14 pence as soon as the end of next month or even sooner. Tekcapital is next, and here the big mystery is why with shares of Microsolt going through the roof, these shares have not gone even more through the roof, but so far we managed to hit our first target there, 14 pence. Above 14 we were looking for 21 pence, and I think we'll get that hopefully by the end of this month. On to Tandem, and here it's an interesting chart in the sense it's a broadening triangle base. We've had the 50-day line rising. Looks like we're not quite close to the 200-day line, 192 line rising. While we're above that 200-day line, the initial target 240, and best case at the moment is a June resistance line projection at £2.80. Next up on the list is Totally, and here we had a nice turnaround. A sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day moving average, one of our favorite setups, especially when it's near the lows, and obviously we are currently near the lows. Initial target here 11 pence, and we're looking for that as soon as the end of this month, while we remain above that 50-day line at 5.25 pence. Finishing off with Valereum, which looks as though it is on its way in terms of the upside. We already had a nice shuffle above a rising 50-day moving average for January, and then a breakout through the main 6 pence resistance above 6, but we're looking for 7.6, and then hopefully as high as 9.6 by the end of next month or even sooner. That's it for me today. More updates over the weekend.